Hello YouTube, Knife Whiz here, bringing you another review. Today we have a production knife. This would be the Spyderco Endura4 Emerson model. Just means it has an Emerson wave feature on it. I bought this knife as an EDC knife, something I could abuse and not worry too much about. But the one thing I really wanted in a knife, other than the blade size and functionality, was the wave feature. Very few knives have that Emerson wave feature. This one's actually patented by Emerson, because I believe they all are. Anyone who has this feature is. See if you can get it. Anyway, it says Emerson, patent number, blah blah blah. You got your Spidey emblem up there on top, and Spyderco VG10 written on the blade. Okay, so a little bit about this knife. Let's see, we got an overall length of 8.8 inches, the blade length of 3.8 inches with a cutting edge of 3.4 inches, closed length of 5 inches, your blade thickness is at 0.125 inches. There we go. Blade steel, VG10, good steel. Handle material, FRN, which is like a fiberglass resin composite. You know, good texture. Good texture. Works well. Takes abuse. Wave feature is great. If you've ever owned an Emerson, you know all about the wave feature. For me, it's the only way I deploy this knife, with the wave feature. And unless I'm just playing around with it. If it's out of my pocket and I'm flinging it open and closing it, then I'll use a Spidey hole. Which, by the way, the Spidey hole is, I believe that's a 13mm Spidey hole. Good size Spidey hole. You can access it with gloves. Sure, no problem. The ergonomics of this knife are great. You've got a big handle. I mean, look, what did I say the closed length was? 5 inches. You got a 5-inch handle to grab onto. That's a big handle. By the way, let me get the color of that. You got to see if I can get it at all. There you go, a little bit. The color of that FRN is like a blue-gray. Pretty neat. I kind of like it. Material, so you got FRN, VG10 blade. It is a lockback knife, but they do cut the lockback out so you don't accidentally close it when you grab onto the knife. You've got an ambidextrous clip. Let me get the light on here again. You got an ambidextrous clip. You can mount it front. You can mount it tip up, tip down, left or right. It appears to be painted. Now, I have carried this knife for a few weeks now. There's a little bit of wear, not much. I expect that it's going to wear off, especially since that's just really looks like paint for the most part. So I'm sure it's not much more than that. But that's fine. It's a good knife. I like the fact that this lock bar is cut out. You don't feel it. You don't feel the lock bar when you grab onto the knife. And I don't worry about it unlocking while I'm grabbing it. Jimping. They put some jimping right here in the FRN. That helps a little bit. You can feel it. But the jimping in the blade. Let me get the light out again. The jimping in the blade. If I can focus on it. There you go. You can see it a little bit. The jimping in the blade is spectacular. Just like any other Spyderco with jimping. It's reminiscent of the military or paramilitary. Very hard, very sharp jimping, which is good. Your finger's not coming off that sucker. You can feel your thumb engage when you push into it. So, good feeling. Great knife. I mean, I like the way it feels in my hand. Intended use of this knife, it's an EDC knife. All the way. You're going to open packages with this thing. You're going to cut rope. Anything that you would normally do on a day-to-day basis, you could easily accomplish with this blade, with this nice 5-inch handle. By the way, the blade, the new Enduras use a, this Endura is the saber grinding, I guess. So Yeah, flat saber ground is what they call that, and that's true. Flat saber ground. The new Endura4 that doesn't have the Emerson feature is a full hollow ground. Really nice blade. Like I said before, you got bi-directional texturing in the FRN. Feels really good. VG10 blade. That's a good steel. It's a good user grade steel. This knife does have phosphorus bronze washers. You cannot see them because the clearances are on par. I mean, the clearances are tight. So you can't even see those washers. They're probably embedded into the liners, which, by the way, liners, let's see a little bit, they're skeletonized stainless steel liners. That's nice. Rib in the back is just FRN. It is a screw-together model. So you have screws on half of it. You have screws on one side. This side's not studded. This side's screwed. Okay, everything is we call that star bit. Anyway, it's escaping me. Anyway, good knife, great feel, good ergonomics, 4-way clip carry, 13 millimeter hole. That's nice. Dual skeletonized liners, VG10 blade, saber ground at that, Emerson pocket wave. Good knife. I have been carrying this knife, I'd say, let's see, for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. The only sign of wear that I notice is, of course, the clip. And I always carry crap in my pocket, and I'm always rubbing up against stuff. You're going to get wear. That's not a deal breaker for me. This is a good knife. It'll do you good. The MSRP on this knife, I believe, is 109. Oh, I've got it out of the frame. Is $124.95. Of course, you're not going to pay that for it. I mean, I bought this knife from a local dealer, so I spent more than I would have paid online. I think I paid $90 for it. I've seen them online for the mid to late 70s. You know, 75, 78, 79, somewhere in there. You're not going to pay any more than that for this knife. It's a good knife. It's worth every bit of the $90 I paid. I didn't mind buying it because I was buying it from a local vendor, supporting my local vendor who happens to be an actual knife shop. So that's nice. Supporting a local vendor. And it's worth every penny to me. I love this knife. It's a great EDC. It weighs nothing. I don't think I mentioned the weight before. It's like 3.6 ounces. That is a light knife, especially with a 3.8-inch blade on it. That's a lot of blade for a sub 4 ounce weight knife. That sure is a heck of a lot of blade. Anyway, it's a great knife. It's made in Seki City, Japan, which a lot of Spyderco's higher-end knives are made in Seki City, Japan. It's not Chinese, it's Japanese. Anyway, good knife. I suggest that you check it out. If you want a good, light EDC knife that is going to serve the purpose of an EDC knife, you need to look into this knife. It's worth every penny of it. Locks up tight as a tank. It's good. Anyway, you got any questions, leave them in the comment bar. Otherwise, Knife Whiz out. Take care.